Do it. Start off on DXY as always.
So welcome
And
Thursday, last live trading session of the week, August 20th.
yeah.
As always, these will be recorded, and Nick is going to get started.
Oops, let me just put on Do Not Disturb. I don't want somebody.
Please do
calling.
not disturb me ever.
Yeah. Don't don't disturb us. All right, daily time frame first, guys. DXY. That's where we're at. This thing was very, very bullish. We just want to look at the overall sentiment and then just kind of see if anything changed. So it was bullish. And then we went bearish once we saw this monthly zone break. So this was a daily transition. And now we're consolidating well below this monthly level. Was support, now resistance. 95 flat is that key level. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4-hour and take a look at what current price action is doing. So this is that consolidation. It has not, this bearish leg has not formed structure yet, meaning it has not hit the 38.2 fib level. It is pretty much just running on straight momentum at this point, especially this push through the lower of this range, which actually was a bit of a fake out. This price action came right back through into this range. Now this is looking like a lower high, but it depends on how it reacts at this level. Either it pushes back through, gives us a lower high below this zone again, or maybe we'll get a higher low right at this level, and then like a lower time frame transition back to the upside. So I mean, we'll see what happens. The only thing we can do is wait at this point. We have to see how it reacts with these MAs, with the zone. This could just be a pullback. Very likely it could just be a pullback, forming that lower high, and then we'll start getting some, conviction below the zone again through the MAs as well, and so on. And we could target lower then. But always in every scenario, guys, every single chart, every single trade, the highest probability trades are going to come after we see structure form. So you guys really just need to keep that in mind, that this is overextended and we have not seen the 38.2 hit yet, which would be ideal, preferably. But I mean, we'll see what happens. That's quite a ways. It has to pull back all the way back up to 94.5 pretty much to hit that level, and we're all the way down here in 93 flat. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the rest of this week has in store for us, and early next week. All right, so that's DXY. Guys, again, it's just always good to jump on here because DXY makes up for 80% of all trade, and it is considered the reserve currency of the world. So a lot of the major pairs are going to move based on what DXY is doing. Relatively. Obviously, some pairs will be more correlated than not, but it's always good especially if you're trading major pairs. It's always good to have this kind of in your back pocket or have one eye on it all the time or something. Okay.
Like Nick said, some pairs won't correlate with it, but for the major pairs, it really does correlate really well.
It really does. Even if you guys, you could start off lightly analyzing it as well. You don't have to, just move into it slowly. Just get used to analyzing it, understanding what it's doing, and then try and, use it as an indicator tool almost on some other USD pairs, like we're going to get into right now. But so we're here on AUD USD now, and we're going to go to the daily time frame. And I'm going to show you guys this transition here. So we want to see the sentiment. This was overall super, super bearish, right? Then we had this huge 4-hour bullish trend, and then we had this daily transition from a bearish sentiment to a bullish sentiment once this monthly zone was broken, right? Because this was the last level of resistance, pretty much the last zone where this significant lower high was. That was kind of holding this overall bearish trend. And we saw a break of that and a transition through that zone. So we are clearly bullish on the daily now, as well as the 4-hour. So we could drop down to the 4-hour, get a closer look at current price action and see what's going on. So this is that break right here, right? We broke right through the monthly, came back down, gave us some higher lows, and is now, kind of in this like ascending channel, this broadening ascending channel here. And we did get a nice little break of the zone, a nice little rally, new higher high, but now it came back, and now it's pretty much, bouncing between the zone. It looks like we had a little bit of a test of this 0719 handle, and then now it also looks like, we may see some reaction around 714, 0714, which is the lower end of this minor range here. So we really have to see what kind of happens. If we do get a higher low here, that would be nice. Then we'd be looking for, long opportunities after we see a transition of, back above 0.719, right, through the MAs. We want to see those confirmations. So pretty much we just want to see an established higher low with strong bullish setups that we can enter on, right? And that would be a good entry. But if it does keep dropping, look for some sort of reaction around this trend line, and again, back around this monthly at 0.708, okay? We're looking for long opportunities pretty much anywhere in here where we get a confirmed higher low with those bullish setups, okay? Anywhere from current price action right now all the way down to this monthly, we could potentially be taking long opportunities, okay? So we'll be watching this one too. This is the 4 hour, so it does have to, really prove to us that it's going to go higher. So we're just going to wait for those confirmations. But for this to go short, for us to consider short opportunities, we really need to see a break of this whole monthly zone. And then confirm that this is going to continue lower in the form of a lower high. And then we could that would change our sentiment then. Then we would, be back into, we would transition back into, the daily bearish trend. And we'd have pretty high confidence after we saw a confirmed lower high that this would be dropping and we could target lower. Okay, but until that happens, we're looking for long opportunities, especially as this little channel holds, right? So we're getting higher low, higher low, higher low, potentially where we are right now. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of happens, and then we'll play it out accordingly. Is this a channel? It's essentially like it's like a broadening channel. I mean, you could do that if you want to kind of squeeze it, if you want, just so for aesthetics, so you could visualize it. But you don't really live or die by trend lines either. You could clearly say that this is a bullish, formation, right? We're getting higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, higher highs. So it's a bullish formation, bullish channel, whatever, however you want to classify it, it's bullish, okay? But it's not really any significant pattern, this whole piece of price action. It's just, a good volume channel, if you will, okay? So that's AUD USD. We're going to move over to AJ now. AJ. Son of a bitch. All right, let's go to the daily time frame. Huh?
Triple top on the 4 hour.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so it's super bearish. Super bearish. And we were waiting for that transition, right? So like we saw in AU broke through the monthly and we were able to call it a daily transition, right? Excuse me, guys. This had not broken through that monthly, so this did not give us a daily transition. Instead, it kind of just met the prior lower highs, especially right here, and then rejected. And now it looks like it's kind of reversing. We could potentially have a transition happening on a 4 hour, which we'll drop down to. But just so you guys know, the overall trend is still pretty much bearish with this. And then to keep in mind, this is a very strong 4 hour bullish trend. Okay, that's what this whole piece of price action is. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4 hour and see how this is going to react. See if we can't get a trade idea in here. All right, so here we are, huge ascending triangle. Huge ascending triangle. We're expecting this to pop as price action was getting squeezed. The volume was kind of like thinning out, and we wanted to see a nice pop of the 76.7 handle, right? Nice break above, confirmed higher low above, and then we were able to target higher. Unfortunately, it just formed this freaking triple top and then tanked. So we were looking at this pattern. It was pretty much just a rectangle box pattern like that, right? Waiting for a break to the upside in favor of the overall trend. But instead it broke to the downside, gave us a quick little retest, lower time frame, lower high right here, and then dumped, kind of breaking the entire pattern right now, that giant ascending triangle. As we got closure just outside our monthly zone, outside this trend line. But I'm still not convinced yet. So we can continue looking for short opportunities now. Once we see a significant break of 75.6, right about here. And again, I want to see a lower high below this zone for us to confirm a transition and incoming bearish movement, right? We need to see that lower high confirmed with strong bearish setups. Then we could target lower. Then you target lower towards significant support levels, fib levels. Once we start getting these lower highs and seeing something we can fib, then you could target, lower and accordingly. Okay. Also, this 200 EMA is a huge factor. If we can get below that, retest a lower high below that, this would be a really high probability trade, and tons of confluence in here as well. So this could be interesting, guys. We could definitely see this pop lower, give us a lower high, and then drop, but we'll see. You know, if we do see some sort of rejection from here, like this, let's say, if we do see just a bounce and it comes right back into this ascending triangle, then we're literally going to look for the exact same thing. We're going to look for a break of 76.7, and then this trade idea becomes valid again. Break and retest, confirmed higher low is what we're looking for. Okay. So those are the two scenarios on AJ right now. It is, you know, we just need to see a break of a significant level, either 75.6 or 76.7. And then we'll take it from there. All right. So that's AJ. Let's move on to UJ. This one's looking really good, guys. I'm excited for this one. Let's zoom out. Let me see some chat. AJ's looking good. Good. You just cursed AJ? What? Dude, AJ is my pair, man.
What's up, Sumi?
All right. Anyway, I'm zooming out. Overall sentiment is super bearish. Super bearish, right? Giant descending triangle. The key level of support here would be this monthly zone right here at 106 flat. Okay. Shit. Keep getting these yawns. So this is that significant zone, 106 at our monthly. And we saw a break of this and then a pullback. It held at the 61.8, which is right in line with that monthly, but then it pushed through it. It actually pulled back all the way to the 88.6 and then dumped again back below this monthly. So now we can drop to the 4-hour. You can clearly see this is super bearish and could be making, or could be getting ready for another strong, like large bearish leg. So what we see now, here was that 61.8 pullback, came back down and then pushed higher to the 88.6, pulled back through the MAs, crossed back through the MAs and the 200. And now we're back below the monthly, testing the same 61.8% fib level as we did over here, before over here. So now we have what looks to be pretty clear, you know, a nice head and shoulders pattern. So this is a nice left shoulder, head, right shoulder potentially, and this is the neckline. Kind of slanted, but still very valid. So this could be, we have two potential opportunities here if we see this head and shoulders play out. Either we can enter on some sort of lower time frame transition right on the right shoulder, where, you know, it'll be like a 30-minute entry looking for, you know, MA cross, quick retest, some sort of just structure confirmation on lower time frame, right? That's what we're looking for. Pretty much we could enter on the right shoulder, or you wait for a break of the neckline, catch a retest, and then target lower down towards significant support, okay? But this thing is looking clean as hell. As far as head and shoulders go, this thing is looking nice, okay? Just looking for that, you know, that proper confirmation from where we are right now. All right, we need to see some engulfings, some evening stars, something. Oh, what is that?
What?
You just dropped a recliner chair?
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. All right, guys. So this is looking pretty good. We'll keep you guys updated with this one, especially. It might play out later today. We'll see what happens. But, you know, if it doesn't play out this week, hopefully it holds off until early next week and we can capture that opportunity then. Okay? Yeah, so AJ is looking good. And for us to go long and consider long opportunities, we need to break 107.4. I'm going to stick to this level. I've been saying that pretty much all week long. I'm not comfortable taking any long opportunities on UJ until we see you know, a higher low above 107.4. Okay? Something like that. That's what I would need to see. But for now, we're going to play this head and shoulders. It's looking pretty good, guys. This is exciting to see. You know, UJ is shaping up to be something really nice. So let's keep going. Move on to EJ. Daily time frame first. This one, super bearish, right? Giant bearish channel. And then we got a transition. We got a daily transition over here. Once we broke 121.25, broke all these lower highs, all these zones in here, came back, retested, caught at the 200 EMA and upper trend line of that descending channel, that bearish channel, and then continued upwards with strong momentum all the way into our monthly zone. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4-hour and see what this means now. Let's zoom out a little bit, let's adjust that. All right, cool. So super strong bullish trend. Here it is. Not what I meant to do. All right, so super strong trend. pushing price action up into this monthly zone. Expand this a little bit. So it is quite overextended. We have not seen structure form yet. So ideally, this trade path is, one we want to see. We want to see price action pull back to the 38.2, kind of reestablish this level of support, let the MAs catch up, maybe show us some patterns, some consolidation in here, and then continue to the upside again. A nice with some nice bullish setups, confirmed higher low, structure formation. That would be ideal. It really would be, because that's where the highest probability trades are, and that's what we like to see the most. That's where we find the most success. It's when all of those kind of rules for our strategy start getting checked off, all starting with forming structure. Okay, so 38.2 would be super ideal. However, it's not unlikely that momentum will just kind of push this thing through the monthly. Especially, we do have a flag pattern forming too, which is a continuation right here. You guys can see, right? Nice little head and shoulders flag pattern, flag pole. There's a flag. Could be a continuation. So yeah, just wait for a break of that monthly. Maybe take a price action trade after you see a confirmed higher low above this monthly zone. But again, there's always more risk involved when you aren't going based on a structure level. So it could pull back at any time, basically, to form structure pretty rapidly with some good volume. But yeah, we'll be watching this one. So this is EJ. I'm honestly not really pressuring myself to make a trade on EJ anytime soon. I really just want to wait this one out. Because again, if you look on the daily time frame, this thing has literally gone just straight up, and the only potential entries would have been on patterns for the most part. We had a nice little triangle here, symmetrical triangle, broke, retested, gave us an engulfing. That's a price action trade. There's no real structure formed in there. So this thing's kind of just been going and going, getting itself overextended, not forming structure. So it's due. It's definitely due, especially after hitting such a significant resistance level. So we'll wait on this one and keep you guys updated and see how it plays out. But yeah, we need to see something happen. Look, even here too, guys, based on like the rules that we cover, that we go over with you guys, and what we look for specifically, just look at these MAs. These MAs have just been holding this trend. There's been no pullback through the MAs. It's literally just been holding. So this thing is definitely due for a pullback. Whether it's going to happen this week or next week, we don't know that. We're not fortune tellers, but we know that a pullback has to happen and that structure has to form. All right. So overall, super bullish though. For us to consider short opportunities, we really need to see a transition of this zone here. That'd be step 124 flat. You need to see a break and recess of that. Love to see some lower highs below that zone. And then you could take some shorts on that, but more ideally, we want to see a break below 121.25, this weekly zone here. Start getting some lower highs below there. And then that could be a really big transition to the downside. Some really strong moves could be happening. Some good short opportunities. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll keep you guys updated, but that's what needs to happen for us to consider short opportunities. We need to see some serious breaks of support, and we need to start seeing some lower highs below those levels. Okay, but until then, we're just waiting on this 38.2 pullback, structure formation, continue with the trend, this bullish trend, and then we're good. Okay. And then let's go ahead and move on to our last pair, which is gold. Everyone loves gold. Daily time frame, guys. Bullish as hell. There's no denying it. If you can't identify this as bullish, there's a problem. This thing is the most bullish. It's insane. So we saw a break of 1800, and then it quickly rallied right past 2K. Came back pretty quickly all the way to hit a low at 1863. So let's go to the 4-hour right away and see what opportunities we got for us. All right, cool. So right now we're at key support. This whole area is pretty much a zone. You can even drop it a little bit lower. This whole area is a zone, kind of depending on, it depends on how price action reacts here. Will it bounce? If we see, significant support level, hold right here to 38.2. If we see this hold and we see a push through the MAs again and then a quick retest, some sort of higher low, just above the current zone, if we start seeing some higher lows, those could be potential entries, especially if you see some strong bullish setups, okay? Then you could target higher towards a new high at 2160, which is right where our negative 27 fib level is. But if this does break through this zone right here and continue lower, look for long opportunities around the 61.8 and weekly zone. Okay, so this means, push to that zone there, some consolidation, and then pretty much just a confirmed higher low, some bullish setups, something like that. We need to see a transition and some higher lows for us to enter on. Okay, so either that's going to happen here or potentially down at the 61.8 in our weekly. So we'll see. We'll be ready for each. Either way, guys, either of these trades are phenomenal. 4-to-1 risk reward, 5-to-3 risk reward. We'll keep you guys updated. But this thing is looking serious. There's some crazy volume in here right now. But we just want to make sure that we're getting in on a good entry, a true entry. So we're going to wait on this one and keep you guys updated. All right, but a quick recap from me. Covered DXY for you guys, AUD, USD, AJ, UJ. So this is the best prospect for the rest of the week, guys. Keep an eye on UJ. We covered EJ, far away from a trade, and then gold, could play out. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. He's going to get into some of the majors.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah, man, show him something.
Dude, I'm pumped.
Let's go.
Fired up.
All right, so thank you, guys. Thanks for sticking around through my analysis.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Hell of an analysis. All right, first of all, if you guys want to get on the giveaway, last giveaway of the week, just put your Discord in the chat. We thank you guys for being here, for supporting us, coming through, listening to our analysis over and over again. So put your name in the chat. It is completely random, so I know some people are trying to message me, and they're like, I'm the giveaway, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we just pick a random winner. I literally upload the recording of the random picking. So, yeah, just throw your name in the chat, and we'll get that going. I'm going to start off, like Nick was touching on, we're getting some pullbacks with DXY. We're pulling back. This thing, the lower time frames right now is very bullish. But as we look on this 4-hour time frame, we're looking, where's the next potential lower high? It looks like it could push up a little bit more, could push up really to this area right now at least. We've got some resistance there. It's rejecting this minor level right now. But let's get into it. Let's go on to EU. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. And this is very similar to, this situation over here. Is we're looking at the weekly time frame. Overall, we're very overextended. We're above this weekly level support, but just looking at this, before we get in any sort of short opportunities, we need lower time frame structure to break, or this 4-hour daily. Daily time frame still very bullish, but we're just at this high right now. We've tried to make this new high, then huge bearish engulfing candle. So this thing obviously failed, to head higher. So keeping that in mind, heading down now to the 4-hour. The 4-hour is pretty much just in a pullback. The 4-hour made a new high right here, headed higher. Now we're in this pullback. We're back into this, below this resistance area, and we're just looking for the next higher low, guys. We're looking similar to this, same situations. We need to find support, look at that moving average cross, and head higher. So pretty much what I'm looking for, let's map out 2 hypothetical situations, and this is exactly how we teach in the course. I just draw an entry zone, an area where we got multiple confluences, multiple confirmations. If I were to fib this area, this would be like a 618 type zone right here. Boom, but I don't need to leave that on the chart. But yeah, we've got this entry area. I'm going to change this to red. Boom. So we've got this entry zone, and really, if we break below this weekly level all the way down here, that's when we would start to consider short opportunities. This is when volume to the downside would kick in, and we would be able to take advantage of that. So yeah, these are 2 hypothetical situations right now on EU that we're looking for. We're either looking to find support right now at this support level, this support resistance level, or we're looking to break that level, look for the retest, head lower. So that's EU. Let's bump over now to USEF. Let's start, as always, up on the weekly time frame. So USEF on the weekly time frame is down at this monthly key level, guys. It's down at this monthly key level. It's finding support. It's rejected it already a couple different times. Coming down to the daily time frame overall is obviously very bearish, but huge bullish engulfing candle right here. But we still want to get to a time frame where I can see structure a little bit more clearly, all the way down to the 4-hour. This is really where I'm looking at structure. We've got these lower highs. I'm just going to put on a fib, like Nick said, waiting for that 38.2 to be hit, pulling back through the moving averages here. So this was a lower high that formed, and then this was the next lower high that formed. So we really have a good understanding of what we need to see right now. Basically, we either need to see a break of this area to go to the upside, and by the time we broke this area, the 200-day would come into the picture a little bit more. We'd be starting to shift, break that last line of defense, as we always say. So this would be our long opportunity. And then on the flip side, if we were to continue this trend, right now we are seeing some sort of rejection from this area up here. And I would say that this is definitely some sort of support and resistance level. As I look left, we've got support here, resistance here, resistance here. So we've got multiple, different situations. If I were to adjust this a little bit more, move it down a little bit more, we're definitely near that area. We're definitely rejecting some sort of support resistance area. So, we could see this start to transition, but we need to wait, guys. We need to wait. Very similar to here. Very similar to here. We confirmed on the 4-hour that this crossed. Then we started to take short opportunities here, trying to push to that 4-hour new low. Same thing here, guys. Once this crossed, that's when we were looking for short opportunities. But there was no real pullbacks in this area. So, there was no entries, which is fine, which is fine. We don't need to be taking entries all over the place. What I'm saying? We just need to be patient, as Nick says. So right now, one of two opportunities. Either we're going to head lower pretty much right from this area, or we're going to go higher. So that's USEF. Let's go over now to GU. Yesterday, we talked about a little bit of a different trade scenario, and I don't always take these, and if I do, I'll lower my risk for sure. But basically, we came into our monthly key level. We're very overextended. A little idea of mine was, let's go down to the lower time frame and look at some momentum-based move, on the 30-minute. But I'll get into that. Let's just go from the weekly time frame. Overall, we are bearish. We made this low, made this lower high. Now, ultimately, we're retesting this zone all the way up here. Boom. We're retesting the zone all the way up here. Previously, we came up, bearish engulfing before finally dumping. So ultimately, this is on the weekly time frame, guys. So we're going to need to start to see price action more similar to that before we really start to short this. Look previously as well over here, same type of deal, bearish price action before inevitably dumping. Same thing up here. So we're not trying to be too aggressive right now. Going down to the daily time frame, overall very bullish. Came up, formed this new high right here. But we are at this monthly level. We're at this monthly level of resistance. We were all the way up at that level. So my thinking process was, let's look at a lower time frame, 30-minute. And this is what we were doing yesterday. All the way up at this level, we saw this little break of support, this pullback, started to consolidate there. This is an example of a very aggressive trade, but at the same time, the risk is there. If we were to put our stops right above this level and entered, on any of these candles, it's sort of just like a breakout, or even this pullback and then this evening star right here. We could have got in on a decent little order right there. Boom. So this is just an example of a very aggressive move based on weekly confirmations, guys. So on the weekly, this was our confirmations, lower high. So ultimately, this is like a supply zone up here. Retesting this last line of defense and then this monthly key level. So those are two confirmations. And, when we have those two confirmations all in the weekly, sometimes I'll go down to that 30-minute, that 1 hour. I'll see if there's any sort of structure break-in which there was, but let's stick to our overall, our overall trend. Our overall trend on GU is bullish. The overall trend is definitely bullish right now. We need to break really below. We had this box pattern forming. I'm going to actually even move this up a little bit more. We really need to break below this level. I'm going to delete this. We really need to break below this level before getting short on this. We saw in that weekly time frame previously that it took a lot of shifting of momentum on lower time frame, a lot of transitions for this ultimately to really dump lower. So we really need to be, patient. This level is the level that needs to break. So I'm going to map this out. Boom. Right here. So we need a nice break, retest of this level, this support level. Before heading lower all the way, we'll target this lower monthly level. And then on the flip side, for us to get long on this, for us to consider going long, we need the same thing that happened here, guys. We had this like double bottom right here. Boom. We had all this bullish pressure right through the moving averages, and then we had the retests after the moving average crossed. Here we had the same thing. We had this push up through the moving average, but then look at the following candle. Bearish, bearish, bearish. So we got to wait for the retest, guys. Bullish, transition, pulled back. These are where the potential entries are once it's retesting and confirming. Bullish, pulls back. These are where the entries are. And this is where we got in on these trades. So right here, we're looking for something similar. We need this to break above the moving averages before we head higher. And all that tells me, guys, is without going to the lower time frames, the moving averages is telling me that there's breaks of structure going on. There's transitions without us even looking. That's why we're staying on the higher time frame for now. We don't need to be looking at the 30-minute. We don't need to be confusing ourselves. And we went over it yesterday. Yesterday, right on this live session, we were up at this trend line. We were talking about we could potentially see this thing definitely transitioned on the 4-hour time frame ever since this level right here broke. Boom, this was that first lower high. This was that next lower high that just formed. I actually missed this trade. I think this played out in the middle of the night last night. Let's go over this. This is a very clean entry. This thing, NZD, has been weak as hell. Obviously, DXY has been pulling back. So, recipe for this thing to fall. And let's just go over. I wouldn't have entered all the way up here at this trend line, based on how I'm looking at it. But at the same time, let's just bring on a few confirmations here. Let's fib from our previous lower high to our lower low. Again, fib from the wick, first bearish candle, to the last bearish candle where this thing starts to actually retrace to PRZ levels and moving averages cross. So that would be right here. We had the pullback all the way to 618. Had this trend line come into play, obviously, in a huge evening star. So I would just highlight this. Let's just review this trade, see where the potential entry could have been. So as I highlight that, go down to the 30-minute time frame. In 30-minute time frame, it's like, okay, where in this entire range is structure? We had this high form, this little pullback. I would consider this to be some structure. And again, this was that 4-hour evening star. Really, once we broke below here, we were just looking for the first pullback and retest. And I love these. These might be very low, but at the same time, this was a retest of the 200-day moving average. And we had 1, 2, 3 rejections of it. Ultimately, if we were really watching this, the entry would have came right here. This pulled back through the moving averages, then found resistance. We could have took the trade right there. That looks very similar to a lot of entries that I've taken already. And then as you can see, this would have been a nice risk reward. Could have put our stops right above here. This is a lower high. This is 200-day moving average. Looking left, this is also a lot of resistance previously. Bring this into play right here. Boom, we could even higher it a little bit. Let's just take a look.
You could unshare for a second too if you need to.
Real quick. Hold on, I gotta move this. Give us 1 second, guys. We got some trades going in. What'd you do? 1%?
Yeah, 115,
1.5?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this guy's going 1.5 now, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, everything's good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, everything looks
Just want to check.
All right, cool. All right, so back to this. Wish I had sold earlier, but it's on the zone now. Rate's gonna fall. And you. All right, so back to this. This would have been a nice short opportunity, guys. This executed though at 1 a.m. last night. I was comfortably sleeping in my second dream, so did not have an opportunity to short this. But this is just an example of an entry, guys. Went from the 4-hour. I'm not entering just because the 4 hours making an evening star, just because we got a trend line, just because we're at the 618. This is just telling me that the overall trend is shaping up to get ready to push. This thing's now pushing to a new low, and then we hit the lower time frame. This is where we get the best risk reward. Don't get me wrong. If we had a pullback here and retested this level, that would have been fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Lower high here, that would have been great, right? Following that engulfing, but that didn't happen. It happened lower, and we were just waiting for it to happen. Finally did. Got in on a nice clean entry right here. And obviously this thing hit some good risk reward. So let's bump back up now to the 4-hour. Let's go like this. Boom. So back up to the 4-hour time frame. Where are we targeting on this? We're hitting a huge level of support right now, but this thing is definitely breaking that level. As I bring the fibs back on, we're using our -27, using our 618. So ultimately, we're targeting these lower levels. I'm gonna just wait on the 30-minute. Very similar to this on the last push, 30-minute had this huge push down, then we pulled back. Let's hit the 30-minute real quick. Then we pulled back right here, even the 1-hour. Boom. So we're looking at these pullbacks. So right here we had a break of this level. Boom. Then we had this first pullback on the 1-hour. This would have been our entry, this candle coming through. Stops above here. Would have got a nice 2-to-1 there. Then we had another pullback. We went over these. I feel like I need to send back these from this here. No, I don't use Chrome to execute. My laptop is always dying though.
Stay dying. That battery.
Not work. No, I just never turn my laptop off, which is probably really bad for it. So this would have been our next entry opportunity on the 1-hour pullback. Bearish engulfing. Would have got in on this, stops above this level. Would have got to around 1-to-1 when we always secure profits. This came back to break even, so we probably would have got stopped out. But those are just two examples. Right now, we got to own the lower time frame now, guys, that this started to actually trend on the 4-hour. We got to wait for that lower time frame pullback before we enter. So we'll keep you guys updated on this one on NU. We'll see if there's any opportunities on that. And then last but not least, let's go over UCAD. So UCAD on the 4-hour, we're getting this 4-hour pullback. This is what we drew out yesterday. We're waiting for this pullback right now. Overall, we're obviously very bearish. But on the weekly time frame, yeah, we already went over gold, Banca. On the weekly time frame, we are testing this 200-day level, which has been respected so many times. That doesn't mean that we're just going to hit off that level now, but it definitely has been respected many, many times. Previously, we had this trend line drawn on here, I believe right here. So this is a big confluence area right now that we're coming to. Big confluence area, but we need to see this 4-hour at least break. So basically, this is what we're looking for. We had this. We need this to break up for us to go long. Boom. So we need a break of this level, retest that lower high, retest support, then go long. And for us to go short, we need something similar to this to happen, guys. We need the moving averages to cross in our direction. We'll get in on that first pullback on the lower time frame. Right here would have been there. Nice profits on that one. This is a trade we took last week. That was the same thing. So we're just looking for this 4-hour trend to continue. I'm not even going to go down to the lower time frame. We need this 4-hour to push a little lower through these moving averages before I even consider anything. Last but not least, let's go over GJ. So GJ, I am looking for potential longs, but it has a lot to prove right now. Weekly time frame overall very bearish. Making lower lows, making lower highs, retesting lower lows right here. So again, a lot to prove on this one. As I come down to the daily time frame very bullish. We're at this high right now. Had a little bit of consolidation in this zone. But look at a few things. We're at a high. We're above the 200-day. We're maintaining the moving averages. As I come down to the 4-hour, just looking at structure, made this high, made this higher low, made this high, made this higher low. Now we're potentially double bottoming here. Huge wick, rejected that area. So trust structure, guys. Trust what you see. Structure showing us that we're still holding right there. Originally from this point I had on Sunday, we were looking for that pullback. We got that pullback right here. And if I go down to the 30-minute, we had the break, retest. We could have even gotten in on a little entry right here according to our rules. This one wouldn't have been terrible. We would have been stops right below this level, about 28 pips. This thing went up about 37 pips, so we would have been to break even. So that's just the strategy. Like every time we get those 4-hour lower highs or 4-hour higher lows, we're looking to get in on, buys. We're looking to get in on the first pullback. We could have got in on that here and moved our stops to break even. Like always, protect ourselves, even though this thing dropped again. We're going to look for the same thing. We need this basically to head higher like this, moving average cross, get that pullback before we look for any sort of buys. On the flip side, we will not look for sells until this goes down. Boom. So we will not look for sells until this happens. Little break of support, retest, go long on that first lower high. So this is GJ. Try to keep it as simple as possible today, guys, because everything is kind of just on the 4-hour, on the higher time frames, waiting for those moves to play out. So just to recap, I went over EU, USEF, GU, NU, UCAD, and GJ. Nick went over all of his pairs, and that is pretty much it for our live session for today. But I do have one announcement. We have this sale going on for premium membership. So you guys that are interested in our premium membership, this includes everything, our full course, 50 plus videos, signals, one-on-one trainings that you guys can schedule whenever, fundamental updates, psychology training, everything here is included, guys. There's 9 spots left. There was 10 yesterday. So right now it's 40% off. It's $299. If you guys want to join the team, get in on the premium group, have more access to me and Nick, be a bigger part of the community than you are now. Definitely take advantage of this. If not, that is completely okay. These live sessions are always free. These are free for you guys. This is the last one of the week. So make sure you put your Discord name in the chat for the giveaway. This will be the last one of this week. And, as always, we appreciate your guys' support.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So just like Angelo said, it's last trading session of the week. We'll see you guys next on Sunday for the Sunday Market Blitz. But also, again, guys, if you have any questions about this lifetime membership and what's actually included, reach out to us, because I know this shows you what's everything that's included, but I promise you it's so much more than you'll expect on the inside. So reach out to us if you even have one question regarding the course, and we'll break it down for you and talk to you guys about it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So we'll see you guys on Sunday in the next session, and this recording will be posted afterwards. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Yep. Enjoy the rest of the week, guys.
Peace.
Peace.